Hello. 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 How are we all doing? We all well? Music. Where's music? Hollow Note. Why not? Always a good one. Yeah. It's stickers, which I can't see because my chat hasn't moved yet. There it is. Panda, hello. Hello, miss. How you doing? How goes? It's the 31st of December, which traditionally is the end of the current calendar we're using. Gregorian? Hello, doing good, full of food and good feels. Marvellous. Good combination. So yes. Tis that time of year to be reflecting on the year that's gone and thinking about the year that will follow. One of those is easier than the other. So yeah. I thought we'd do a nice little stream where I talk about the things that I want to do next year, talk about the things that I have done next year, and invite you to do the same. I'd like to hear what your plans are, and the things you're proud of this year, the things you've learned this year, all that kind of stuff. That good stuff. I have an actual pen on my desk. That's not helpful. So yeah, let's move on over. In case you didn't know what year it was next. I thought I did accidentally write it down as 2012 the other day. That's it's good going. Before we begin, I'd like to draw your attention. Before I draw anything, I'd like to draw your attention to a tweet that was made almost a year ago. Got about an hour until it's a year ago. Here it is. Might be quite small. No zoom in, maybe. Zooms. So this was a tweet that I made at the beginning of last year for the things that I hoped, at the end of last year for the things I hope to do this year. These include, as you can see, Whitecoats, Thunk, the Malachi Fable, and To Linger. And those of you who have been keeping track will know that the current score is 0 out of 4. And given that we have less than 5 hours left of this year, probably going to continue being 0 out of 4. I had hoped for 3 out of 4, as you can see. But here for Future Me's retrospect. Well, I'm Future Me now, and I have to say to past me, you were way off the mark. So yeah, Whitecoats and To Linger are things that are going to be sort of indefinitely put forward. And Thunk and the Malachi Fable are things that I plan to do next year. In fact, Ewan, yes, that's the thing, is that, like, there's part of me that knew when I was writing this that it would be, there's a decent chance I wouldn't be able to do any of them. Quick, do them all now. The Mefleflefleflebulf. But instead, I did a lot of other things, and I think that's sort of worth bearing in mind. Your plans don't necessarily happen, but that doesn't mean you didn't achieve anything. I made 23 Secret Sleepover Society comics, so that's like 138 strips. I made 22 Foggate strips, 4 more to do. I made my own small business and an online shop in which I make and sell stickers and magnets and books. That's not making a loss. That's a good start. And magnets, yeah. They are magnets. But they're annoying. And I made, there's a bit of a egocentric way of thinking about it, I accidentally assembled a very kind and lovely and positively, sort of creatively positive group of people. The best group of friends I've had this decade, certainly. That all happened this year. So I certainly can't think of this year as a failure. But yeah, by the measure that I had at the beginning. Oh yeah, you guys are a enormous factor of why I consider this year to be a positive thing. You miss, and all other friends, Octo included. And whoever else may be here because the bot didn't tell anyone. So yeah. Lots of things happened this year. But none of them I really planned for, so that's a cool thing. So with that in mind, let's plan for next year. And see how accurate that is. I've kind of learned my lesson in a sense, because rather than focusing on these are the things I want to get done in this time, I'm instead going to focus on these are the things I want to get done. This is the time I'm going to work on them. Whether they get done or not is a different matter. But I will be working on them during that duration. And from there, I'm going to work out how long it will take me to do it. Yeah, so I'm going to call you out. Hello, Chib. I closed my tweet. I can't show you. If you scroll back onto my Twitter, there's a tweet from this time last year. And I talked about all the things I wanted to do this year, and I've done none of them. So, yeah. Enjoy the thought process. So, it's... Yeah, I've been trying to sort of abstractify what I want to do and sort of understand it properly and learn from the mistakes of this year, because this year hasn't exactly been a straightforward exercise. Plugging my Twitter. Yes, scroll through a year's worth of tweets. Mostly comics. How you doing, Chip? You doing well? Alright, so... Yes, what do I want to do next year? Well, first things first. Before I do anything else. Try and make that roughly in the right place. That'll be good. There we are. Gonna put work over here. Leisure over there. I'm going to install a work-life divide for the first time in about a decade. Thank you for the good draw for Professor Hitchens. You're very welcome. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Yeah, so ever since I sort of left secondary school, I haven't actually had anyone telling me when to start work and when to end work. And I didn't have the wherewithal to realise that I probably should do that myself. So that's going to happen next year. I'm actually going to separate work and the rest of my life out. And I'm not going to do leisure in my work time, and I'm not going to do work in my leisure time. Because it turns out, the big problem I have with that is no one's telling me when to start work, which is fine, because I kind of do it by my own lofty goals. You know, the fear of not finishing by the time I should be finishing, that's enough to get me going. But also no one's telling me when to stop. So what I ended up having is a work ethic where I can work all day, every day, 7 days a week. But I consider it a good stretch if I work for 15 minutes without losing concentration. Like, I'm working all day, but not constantly. So, and that's not a good way of doing things. So after, I would say, about 5 years of doing it like that, of having absolutely no structure to my working day, boom, I'm going to split them up. I also intend on splitting things up this way as well. Apologies, 2020. You get a little bit of collateral damage. Because not only have I been stagnating with regards to work ethic, I've also been stagnating with regards to growth. I'm going to be professional, hopefully. That's the aim. Hello, Crow. How you doing? Growth and... I don't know, what would I call this one? Application? Application. Basically, when I first started my PhD, there was lots of stuff I had to learn before I could get to the actual problems that I needed to work on. But by the time I got onto the actual problems, I was making so much progress with them, I didn't need to learn anything. And for the last 2.5 years, 2.5 to 3 years of my PhD, I just didn't learn anything. And that trend has continued. You sound a hockey to be here. The greatest of honours. Thank you very much. That's a demonstration of how good you are, not how good I am. So yeah, and I want next year to be the year that I get back into actually learning things, rather than just doing the same things over and over again and hoping I get better at them. So everything I'm going to do, hopefully, next year will split into this nice division. It's either work or it's not, and it's either designed to help me grow or it's designed to apply the things I already know. So that's it, yes. Sometimes a firework sounds like a cannon going off, pretty much, yeah. They haven't started here yet, but I can imagine they'll be soon. They went off like first thing in the morning for you, didn't they? So yeah. So what do I actually draw? There's a question. I don't know. Well, let's start with the one that you already know, which is applying work. So I'm not doing anything new. I'm just making things that I want to make. And the first one of those, I suppose, I don't know how I'm going to draw. I wanted to draw with like a kind of, sort of a little bit like I was drawing with a pen, only I can undo, which is nice. So don't use construction and just sort of wing it from here. Past few hours, there's getting more fireworks. That would happen, yeah. Why would you let fireworks off in the morning? I don't know. They've deserved the day off. Badum Tish. I'm gonna find out quite quickly. This is probably a bad idea, but it's fine. I'm nothing without construction, which is another one of the things I need to work on. More on that later. Does it look any good? Probably not. But it doesn't have to, it's fine. It's just a doodle, it's a doodle stram. Who is this unusual looking fella? That's very off, isn't it? It doesn't matter. But I will correct it, because I'm like that. No, but you have the guys who go out in the streets with all the sound, no lights, firework. That, what? Isn't that the problem? Why would you have fireworks that are just sounds? You're missing the point. That's a terrible drawing. Look at that. Bloody awful. But it's fine. Don't worry about it. Hey look, there's a thing. People want the big booms even if it drives other nuts. There are some people who want the big booms, particularly because it drives others nuts. So yeah. By the way, this stream is not just me talking about the things I want to do next year. You can also talk about the things you want to do next year. I want this to be a nice collaborative thing. As I said, one of the things I'm sort of most, I don't want to say proud because that implies I had something to do with it. But one of the things I'm sort of most pleased with this year was accidentally bringing together a group of very, very nice people, and I want to interact more with them because they're very lovely. And because I've had a very bad work-life split and I get very guilty about that, I end up not interacting with you as much as I would like. And that is part of what I want to change. Part of why I want to change it next year. Look at this squidgy Malachi. You two would like to learn next year. You want to learn more about art and how to make the most digital art, most of digital art as a medium. Maybe a little animation. Just a year of learning will be fun. I think that's the as I said, growth application. The growth. Most of that stuff will be up here somewhere. I don't intend on drawing a lot of drawings today. I'm just sort of winging it. Anyway, as you may have ascertained, one of the things I want to do next year is outliers. Yay, outliers. No! I want to get back into doing animatics. Yeah, I found those on your YouTube channel. I didn't watch them because I don't know anything about Hamilton, but So yeah, the thing I want to do with you do have a YouTube? Yes, yes. So the plan with Outliers, there's a good M. Hi. And now the most awkward one. Despite the fact that this is the most sort of structurally solid one. I can't speak today, my apologies. Then again, I didn't do any warm-ups, so apologies only go so far, don't they? Look, everybody in this group has a bit of an issue with talking about the things they make. It's fine, don't worry about it. Given that I appear to be having a certain element of difficulty speaking and drawing today, this is not necessarily the best combination to have for a stream where I was going to be about talking about things. Stoic always wears a tie. This is true. Everyone else is just nondescript neck. Stoic has a tie. Oh, actually, M has a turtleneck. Yet of Stoic's unintentionally classy hair. Oh, hello. Where'd that come from? So yes, Outliers. Boom. There they are. They're a thing I'm going to do this next year. And they are going to be essentially the detailed thing for application. So they're essentially going to replace, if you like, the SSS comic. I can spell. In as much as they're going to be my sort of detailed thing of, and I'm going to release sort of a large sort of dose of it in one go rather than lots of little bits. Outlies. Route the lies. Alternate universe evil versions. Hesitate to think what an evil version of Malachi would look like. So yeah, the idea of this is it's going to be sort of like 10 to 30 page comics. Released irregularly. But one of the plans I'm planning on having is streaming the process of making them. So I'll be streaming these during the day, just not sort of big entertaining streams where I'll be talking lots or anything like that. I'll just be kind of working, just sort of chill hangout streams and stuff like that. So yeah, he's kicking knitting supplies under the rug. You can share whatever you like whenever you like. You're under no duress, apart from us being excited about things that friends are making. So yeah, I have loads of ideas for the Outliers. I've been wanting to make their stuff all this year, so it's nice to get onto it. Most of them are why we didn't finishes, i.e. sort of not exactly parodies of games, but like stories set in the world of a game or parallel to a game. Just like I have my characters, I don't know where they exist. Let's put them in another world and see what happens. So if you want more information about that, you can read After Dusk, which was my sort of interpretation of Until Dawn. And that's sort of like the prototype for these things. There's going to be some that are like 10 pages long, there's going to be some that are 30 pages. If I ever get around to doing the Malachi Fable, which is based on the Stanley Parable, that's going to be probably about 40 pages. But you can see the process. It's the one I'm going to put the detail into, all the nice detailed backgrounds and all that sort of stuff. Kira gives her love. Send love back. Actually, I'll do that. Hang on. Just grab there again. You'd also like to make an effort to travel more this coming year, and by more you mean at all. I'd like to leave the house, that'd be nice. And go to at least one con. I've never been to one before. Yes, that's something I should probably put on the list as well. Things go to a con. With the anticipation of eventually maybe actually exhibiting at a con. Or maybe not next year, but maybe the end of next year. You need a lot of planning ahead for that. I do, yeah. It's a good one. Because it's simultaneously Aardman and Hugs. So yeah. Outliers. This is going to be essentially my personal project. It's not designed for, like, you know, social media or anything like that. It's not really a webcomic. This is sort of almost designed for print. And I would like to turn them into books eventually. But for now, I want to make stories. I want to make stories with my silly characters. I wrote a Dishonored one the other day, and I think it's funny, and I want to do that. So that's that. But that's not all. I'm almost half an hour in, and I've done 1/8 of this approximately. Does the feature here in? It does not. It takes place the day before Dishonored starts. Because I like filling in gaps and things like that. Like I want to do one in Final Fantasy VII where it's like the day that the Turks had off, that the outliers kind of filled in for a day and messed everything up. That's my aim for that. But yes, so yeah, everybody look at Chibi's stuff. Okay, how am I going to draw this? I haven't had a lot of practice with this.
That wasn't necessary of you, but you have my thanks.
Thank you very much, Junk Equation 311. Sorry. Thank you for following. I'm sure none of this makes sense. Right, so... Oh, hey, someone's streaming. What? Who? What? Where? What? Oh, the bot just... There it is. I got there eventually. God, I'm terrible. I can't even remember what way around anything goes. So yeah, I will also be working on something else. Which essentially will replace Foggate. Foggate, unfortunately, won't be continuing because it's very... Let's talk about Foggate for a second. Obviously, I'm going to finish it, but until I've finished it... basically, the point of Foggate was that I should probably do this sort of smaller with a bigger brush, maybe. What? This is supposed to be quite simple. Maybe. Yeah, so the point of Foggate was that it was supposed to be, you know, most of my audience, as I imagine a lot of you are, came from Drawfee. And I'm very grateful to Drawfee for, you know, many things that they've done. And the Secret Sleepover Society and all these sorts of things. But I knew that at some point I'd have to branch out and get a wider audience. And so I thought, well, why don't I take something that I like and try and use the audience for that to get more eyes on my work and do something make something I enjoy in the process. More fireworks. And my plan was to do that with Dark Souls and have a silly little comic about all the bosses in Dark Souls that would get the people who like Dark Souls maybe interested in my stuff, but at the same time be a good thing, you know. In a sense, that was a success because I like the comics. In a sense, it was a massive failure because it wasn't silly. It wasn't, well, it was silly, but it wasn't like simple and cartoonish. It was very detailed and very time consuming. And it was very niche and required a lot of prior knowledge. So it wasn't that successful, all things considered, and I want to try and do something that will do what Foggate was meant to do, in a sense. So I've been trying to work out what to do in sort of a replacement for that, a sort of social focused project, as it were, like a something designed to be shared and to be fun and accessible to a large group of people that isn't specific to people who have already seen my stuff, if that makes sense. So there's no point in me sort of making more drawfee stuff if you know, all the drawfee people who are interested in my things have already seen my things. And just Foggate ended up being a bit too specific and a bit too detailed, and I wanted to make something more general and more silly and cartoony and easy to make, and easy to share and easy to pick up on. Instagram really does like its sketches and things like that. It doesn't really care much for sort of finished products. So this is not a particularly good drawing, it must be said, of a character I've had for a very long time called October, who you may know. I've drawn them before. I'm not very good with construction, am I? Without construction, I should say. And if all goes to plan, they are going to have their own comic. Which is hesitantly titled. October. I can never draw an ampersand. And company. It's a very, and the idea of this is it's a very simple premise. So October, as you may or may not be aware, is a sort of Frankenstein's monster sort of character. They're made of basically bits that don't fit properly. You know, just 2 left hands, 2 left feet. You know, one eye's nearsighted, one eye's farsighted. It's just a simple cartoony design and a fun character. A sort of nice October, no, Jockeytober. And I wanted to try and do that for other sort of monsters, for other sort of you know, well-known creatures and things. Don't apologize. I don't know why they're looking at the floor, but there they are. And so I came up with this idea after sort of digging through old ideas that didn't work and updating them and developing them. And it's a very simple, almost boring premise, but it's the combination of the boring and the interesting that appeals to me. Is just what if classic monsters like the mummies and the werewolves and that sort of stuff, but in working in an office, and it's just, yeah, October is a new intern at an office full of monsters, and I've written a lot of stuff for it, and I'm excited for it because it's like a kind of character thing. I get to introduce lots and lots and lots of characters. Yeah, it's... I can't draw any of them at the moment because a lot of them haven't been designed, but... also should probably sort of bits and bobs like that. But yeah. So this is one of the other projects I'm going to be hopefully working on. Involving lots of bits and bobs. If there's any like favourite monsters that you have that you'd like to see in it, do tell me, because there are a lot. But one of the great advantages of this, well, it won't be relying on something that requires a lot of prior knowledge. Like if you know what a vampire is, you'll get the joke. If you know what a, you know, Sasquatch is, you'll be fine. If you know, Loch Ness Monster, Cthulhu, Jekyll and Hyde, all these sorts of things. And the second advantage of it is copyright free. These things have long since exited copyright. If there isn't one of Jocktober comic, you'll be upset. I'm sure I can put something like that in the background. So yeah, it's just me going, how can I reinterpret all of these really old monster designs, but in a mundane environment? You know. It's like one of the first ideas I came up with was a Minotaur, who's just constantly getting lost in corridors. And there's the Loch Ness Monster, who's the window cleaner, because she's the only person big enough to actually reach everything. You know, just silly things like that. Old Man Cthulhu is the CEO. He's a bit out of it, but, you know. That sort of thing. Just sort of funny, you know. Jekyll and Hyde are the joint managers, so it's kind of 50-50 as to whether or not you get them on a good day. yeah, October and Company. That's a thing. That's happening. Hopefully soon. Sketches to follow. Growth. It sounds cute. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be very simple, very silly. Something that people can just pick up on straight away. Very simple visual design. Not lots of details. I'm aiming for 2 comics a week. Would be nice. So they're going to be very simple. Maybe even no color. Who knows? Jekyll and Hyde Management's too real. That was one of the first ones I came up with, was that Jekyll and Hyde thing. I could show you some of the original design, or some of the early designs that need to be redone, but nonetheless you can get an idea. Because I like the idea. I had this idea for a sketch ages ago about Jekyll and Hyde, but Hyde is like a socialite. He's sort of like more sort of, I don't know, sort of a slick evil. You know what I mean? Where am I looking at? Yeah. Should I show that? Maybe I shouldn't show that. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, a lawful evil. Yes, a lawful evil. Well, not lawful. It's very chaotic. You can calm him down with coffee, but but yeah, I just like I like the idea that the Jekyll is a very nice, sort of well-mannered sort of manager. It's very kind and considerate. But the Hyde is just sort of like, I run this place. Tell me why I shouldn't fire you now. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to draw any of these other ones because they're not specific. But work growth. What's work growth? Work growth is going to include many things. Primarily, I have a business now. And I would like to have that make money, if at all possible. Enough money for me to live. That's the aim. Anything more is, whatever. I have simple tastes. So yeah, part of what I want to do is to expand the things I do that are explicitly about, or involving money, not about money. So last year, or this year, I think it's next year already, it's only a few hours, I did some commissions for the first time. And technically I'm doing them for Patreon, kind of. And I would like to do that more next year. So yeah, commissions is going to be a big thing. I'd like to also stream some of those, if at all possible, if anyone wants to sort of commission me for stuff. And the commissions are going to take sort of various forms, including, as you may possibly have ascertained from this, emotes. I'd like to do commissions for emotes, because I enjoy making those, if at all possible. Still can't get over how good those drawings are you did for Duck. Yes, that kind of thing is probably, I'm not going to do many of those, but let me get that up, because it was, particularly this one, was the one that that made me sort of realise that I wanted to do more of this kind of thing. I did another one in this sort of style, which you haven't seen yet. So we're sort of ranging from like simple cute emotes. Oh, hello, there's the sticker for 2020. But yeah, I thanked Dark after he sort of commissioned me to do this, because I never thought I would be able to do something like this. I always had this sort of fanciful notion of like, you know, this sort of romantic idea of being like a portrait artist, even though I wasn't really that into art. It was just sort of the idea of doing, you know, being a portrait artist and having that sort of level of detail and capturing people and all that sort of stuff. And after I did this, I was like, oh, hang on, I'm kind of there-ish, almost. Enough to actually start, you know? So that's something I'm sort of considering doing. But also silly emotes, that's always fun. I like doing silly things. Hence the mini beef and the goose. So I'd like to, yeah, commissions is a big one. I might start looking for freelance work. I'm not entirely sure sort of the areas I'd be interested in. Apparently Triforce recently showed some of my work to one of his friends, and he said that my work would be quite well suited to board games, if I can find someone who wants art done for a board game. I don't know too much about that, but that's something. So freelance work, commissioned work, that kind of thing is sort of the big on the priority list. What is this? Didn't expect these to be good, did you? There's an eye up there. So yeah, yeah. So I can do emotes because look, this is my official pitch. Building a portfolio, that's going to be one of the things. So coupled with my work leisure divide for the year, or for hopefully the rest of my life. What goes on your board games? Honestly, can't wait to see what the future has in store. Same for you, Miss. I'm very excited. You're going to do so well with many of the skills and talent. I hope so. The one thing I did learn this year is that hard work doesn't pay. It's specific hard work that pays. You can't just work and expect everything to work out. You have to actually think about what it is you're working on. And that's the big challenge for next year. Look at this, I'm a professional artist, me, look at that. So yeah, what's another emote that I did? Dodogama one? He's got like rocks on the head or something. So yes, hopefully try and find commissions to do emotes. Try and find commissions to do. That's a chain chomp. You have to be clever about it. My biggest downfall. I mean, you've already come up with a lot of cool ideas, like, you know, sort of creating art with regards to your local area and working on Christmas cards and things like that. Like, I didn't think of a lot of those. So yeah, we'll also do sort of. I'm working with quite a thick sort of outline here, might as well. Yes, also hopefully more commissions akin to my dwarfy friend. I'm excited for you guys to see the other ones that I did. Obviously, it's going to be a while because the game's taking some time. The one thing I will say is that Dark is very... He thinks a lot about his characters. If ever you get sort of commissioned by him, he's very descriptive and detailed about these things. He thinks these things through very much, which is what you want of a GM. So. You need to be smarter. However, you have access to a group of incredibly talented and smart friends to bounce ideas around with, which will be fun. That's the goal. Is I'm going to use you as tools to further my career. That's how this works. You're only here because you're of financial benefit to me. The man is incredible in his descriptions and details when it comes to commissions. Absolutely, yeah. You like to feel out a character as you go. That's, yeah. To each their own. They all have their own ways of working. Oh, yeah, this sort of the big thing. Anyway, point being. More stuff like that. Ish. And that's one thing. So, commissions. Stick those up. And also, the necessary work is for commissions. Is it 1M? 2Ms? I'm terrible. Commission. Hang on, let me check. Oh, it's double M, double S. Okay, that makes sense. It's missions. It's not co-missions, it's missions. Dwarf Dad, when it gets complicated, but doesn't want to smile too much. Complimented. Sorry. I think there's a few more letters than that, miss, but thank you. There's an Emily, hello, and there's an Oops, hello. How you doing? I'm talking about the things I want to do next year, which include Outliers Comics, a comic that I've vaguely introduced but don't know an awful lot about yet, which will be silly and simple. Commissions! I'll do commissions next year. The beard friend is my attempt at doing this freehand. Remember this? I did that this year. That's the thing. Yes. What else constitutes growth work? Well, as you possibly would have ascertained, getting better at art in specific ways, not just going, you know. Well, hang on. Let's finish the commissions thing first. So emotes. Sort of basic, you know, sort of characters with sort of varied styles and qualities. So like, you know, if someone wants me to do it like in the past, the Pokemon Parsnips sort of style that I did, I can do it in the painterly style or my typical drawing characters style, or, you know, like this sort of style or whatever. Perfectly happy to do commissions either way. Yeah, freelance maybe. Also, I like the idea of also doing illustrations for like children's books and things like that, because that's sort of, you know, that's sort of not exactly light-hearted, but you know what I mean. So yeah. I'm actually going to learn bloody anatomy. Keep saying I don't know anything about it. Let's actually learn. I think like 5 years ago, if I came across something that was quite important to what I was doing and I didn't know it, I would have gone, right, cool, there's opportunities to learn. And now it's like, is there a way around that? Can I save time by not doing that? And it's like, no, just learn. Actually do it. Horse anatomy, human and human. You can say everyone commission me to doodle your small mute space gremlin. Drive me mad with the fur details. I love doing fur, but it tends not to love me. I like doing it, but the outcome never looks how I'd prefer. So yeah, anatomy. It's a big thing. These are all parts of the learning aspect. This is growth. Growth in work. It's not just about application next year. It's about growth. Actually getting better at things, if at all possible. Thank you very much. I'm gonna be here for a little while. Trust me, I'm a professional. That was laboured. Anatomy scenery, that's another one, yes. Scenery. So like scenic studies is one of the things I sort of want to do. And that's one of the things I want to do for the Outliers thing, actually, is before I actually start doing a comic, actually do some sort of studies of how to draw the environment, rather than just sort of jumping in and going, how am I going to draw a tree like this, or like this, or... environmental. Design, that also counts for, you know, artificial locations, buildings, interiors, all these sorts of things. Guess you think of art class as for professional questions. Oh no, you can ask anything. All sorts of nonsense we put in there, it's fine. Doodle every day, that is one thing I did want to do. I'm not entirely sure whether or not I will... I want to, again, it'll have to be very, very simple. I'm not going to do the horse thing again. I quite like the idea of drawing everything in Dark Souls. But like, in a really like simple cartoony way. So like every enemy and boss and character and creature and just all the bits and bobs. It'd be quite fun. Because that's the bit I like. That's my favourite bit of Foggate, is doing that first panel. Is just designing the thing. So yeah. Be sure to take care of yourself during 2020. Everybody can take care of themselves. You should check out Schmo Draws on Instagram. He's doing scenic studies at the moment, and they're starting to look at. Remind me by putting it in Discord. What am I planning on drawing from Dark Souls, Chris? Everyone. Well, yeah, like just get like a little doodle, and I'm gonna cap it at half an hour. So no more than half an hour. If you don't finish before the end of that, that's what you've got. And I don't have to release all of them. They're just for me. I'll release the ones I like. And you think of simple, you think of Dark Souls. Exactly, that's the fun. That's the fun. It was mainly because I thought of the crystal lizard, and they're like... Like, that's a crystal lizard in Dark Souls. And I'm like, I love these little guys. Have you seen the crystal lizard in Demon Souls? Looks bloody awful. I'm just used to this sort of streamlined shape. The other one's just like a lizard covered in crystals. So stuff like that, you know, just doing little... And like, instead of drawing the Asylum Demon as I did, I can draw the Asylum Demon like... like that. You know, you can get the in-betweens. You can make something really, really complicated, really, really silly. BD1! Marvellous. Who's this lovely lizard and why they're now my child? It's, yeah. Crystal lizards. They're great. So yeah, yeah, okay, let's do... Daily doodles. and it sort of forces me to draw things that I wouldn't think. Like, how can I cartoonify Lautrec? I don't know how to do that. His armor itself is very complicated. It's literally got arms built into it, wrapping round the chest. Have you ever seen Lautrec's armor? It's really weird. It's cool. Great design. The Armor of the Embraced, I believe it's called. I don't know if you can see, it might be a bit small. You can sort of see there are arms built into it, wrapping round as if somebody's sort of hugging them from behind. You know? See how long it takes for me to notice. I mean, loads. Hello, Try. How you doing? Kate Sith. Yeah, pretty much. Hugma. Yeah, exactly. So it's stuff like that. It's like, how can I make that look good in 30 minutes with a very quick drawing? Yeah, it's just sort of fun, coming up with fun ideas. So yeah. By the way, Try. This is what we've got so far. I've divided everything into work and leisure because I'm actually going to have a division of work and leisure now. I've also divided everything into application and growth. Am I just doing the things I've already done before, or am I actually going to try and make something bigger and more and learn more? Hello, Try. Let's go. There's no leisure yet. We're pretty much done with work. Like, I could include lots of other things in work, but this is pretty much what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on, in order, I'm going to separate my time roughly equally between these things. This is going to be my priority for, you know, the first lot of hours I have in the week to work on these is going to be for that, and any time I have left over is going to be outliers. Let's clean numbers for 2020. That's because it's a font. I cheated. It's a font. October's a good month. It's a comic. It's going to be a comic eventually. It's going to be a simple comic that's easy to make. I'm aiming for 2 comics a day. Not a day. Not that simple. 2 comics a week. And Outliers is just going to be whenever I finish it. But I'm going to stream Outliers being made. October and Company is going to be regular. And fun. And Try's going to be in it, probably. As can you, if you tell me your favourite monster. Try already has. He didn't realise it was for this. I think he was having a down day, and I said, what's your favourite creature? So I made Try as that creature, and now they're in the comic, so... There you go. Mothman. You make a generic spook raven. Sure. Just sort of sit on the head of Nessie as she's washing the windows. Mothman. I don't even know what Mothman is, but it fits perfect. Cryptids work as well. Cryptids are fine. Basically, old horror monsters, you know, old literature, Frankenstein's monster, vampires, that kind of thing. Old B-movie monsters, that kind of stuff. And mythical creatures as well. Mythical creatures work. Cryptids, that kind of thing. B-movie, not the B-movie, B-movies. Difference. Yeah, so there's those 2 things. They're going to be my personal sort of preferences for work, which are going to be not designed to grow anything, just designed to make stuff. And then there's going to be commissions. It's going to be the big commissions and freelance work, big focus on that, and getting up portfolios and all these sorts of things, specified time working just on those, and then just learning things. Learning stuff, anatomy, colour theory, environment design. Actually set aside time to do this rather than say, oh, I should do this at some point. Also daily doodle for a warm-up. Why not? Favourite creature probably like Medusa? I don't think I have a Medusa. Pre-CGI rework Sonic. Yeah, again, trying to avoid copyright. Anything public domain, I'm fine with. I can keep turning back to this. It's like, it kind of started off okay, and then the further out you get. Just weird. Leisure! That's not how pounds work. Do you sort of see what this is? It's like a hand pointing out. Streaming! Streaming is leisure. It's not work. I want to sort of make a point of this because it's kind of interesting. When I started doing streaming, slightly over a year ago now, I am under no illusions that I would ever actually, be a professional streamer. I just don't have the personality, nor indeed the desire. But I enjoyed it. It's really fun. And you guys, being the generous, lovely, wonderful people that you are, were extremely kind and kept donating to me. And that sort of became my main income for a while. And I don't know whether that changed my perspective on what I was doing, but it was like I kind of started to put more effort into organizing and preparing for sort of streams and having assets and all that sort of stuff ready. And it's sort of slightly skewed my perspective on what was important. It's Kiro. Are you looking after yourself, Kiro? Are you? A creature isn't technically a monster. I like I said, creatures from mythology also work. Having a main character already starting with Octo would be confusing. No main characters. Yes, look after yourself, Kira. So anyway, yes, I kind of, because I was streaming was the thing that was making me money, I sort of focused more effort into it, and then obviously with, merchandise coming along and Patreon, who are people very, kindly supporting me on Patreon and all these sorts of things, just being a more convenient version of this, and moving over to Mixer so you don't have to sort of pay to get alerts and text-to-speech and all that sort of stuff, now that that's finally up and running. Obviously that sort of dropped off, and it just, I don't wish that to sound like, I'm disappointed. It's just like, oh yeah, this was never supposed to be a focus. This was meant to just be silly and fun. So yeah, streaming is going to be one of my sort of main leisure activities, but it is now a leisure activity. It's not I'm not going to accidentally consider it work. And hooray for rocks! Yay! Thank you. Centaur with 8 legs. I think I can do that. More like a spider, probably. So yeah, this is going to be sort of one of the major things I focus on for my personal sort of leisure, but I'm going to focus on it in leisure time, not in look at this looks nothing like me, but it's fine, don't worry about it. Just give everything the tiny mouth. Why not? Shaggy hair, okay. That's closer, actually. So yeah, just sort of doing the streams, but thinking of it as fun with friends, rather than, here's my rigid structure for the week, I cannot deviate from it, and I must prepare the assets for the stream on Thursday, before Thursday, and all that sort of stuff. It's like, no, have fun. Speaking of which, new draw through, starting next week. Not next week, week after. New start for 2020, Tiny Mouth. I'm sure there'll be plenty of monsters with Tiny Mouth. I'm very excited to share my things about October and Co. Oh yeah, I never shared. I'm still trying to work on like a little logo for it, but I like the idea of the fact that it's almost an ambigram if you do like, so like OCT and Co. Like it's almost an ambigram. Know what I mean? And I feel like I can do something with that. Maybe have it going up or something. Anyway, look at this. Very silly me. I always draw the nose first, and then I'd find out that the nose isn't right. Or I suppose more accurately, the face isn't right if the nose came first. That's almost worse. Almost worse. No, leave it. It's fine. Here's a wide mouse. I haven't had a wide mouse for years. And down here is the hand that's operating the crank wheel that keeps the stream running. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I've got a schnoz. Well, the funny thing is, I would kind of like to work out how to draw me, because I keep drawing Rufus, and it's like that's not me. His head is much squarer than mine. His nose is much wider. Mine's much more sort of porcine, if you like. My hair's not as floofy. It's much more sort of dense and scraggly. Yeah. So I'd like to learn how to draw me. That would be nice. Crank wheel, wink wonk. Strengths. This is my application of leisure. It's something I already know how to do. Nothing like big or... And also just knowing who it's for. Because if I want to say, do you know what? Today I'm not going to stream on Mixer. I'm just going to see if anyone wants to do, you know, a draw pile. Or if anyone wants to do some Jackbox games in Discord. Or something like that, you know? Like, it doesn't have... You are my audience because you're just the friends who are here and watching. And that's nice. And I don't have to pretend that I'm doing this to some sort of mystery audience, you know, like some YouTube channel who's doesn't really pay attention to the comments and just sort of does the, this is my program, watch my program, goodbye, you know. Am I left-handed? No, but there was a period in time when I was drawing so much that I used to operate the mouse with my left hand so that my right hand could have a rest. That's not good. Don't get into that position. Let's see. I'm smirts. I'm smirts like that. So, and the other thing. The other fang. Or the nose first. I'm gonna live up to that face. Look at that. Bench press, not quite. Although taking care of myself is part of it, but that's more of my sort of morning routine than sort of like a visualized sort of. How? Okay. I assume you can ascertain from this point on. Music! My word, have I neglected music this year? I look at the guitar so much and I always forget how to draw. To be fair, the neck designs are always different. Not the neck, the head. Accidental bone trouser. I'm sure that's how we'll end. Seems fair. The guitar. That's an unusual device. I'm sure Alice Cooper or someone's managed to do it in the past. Yeah, music. I have had an unfinished album sitting on a computer for about 2 years now. That needs to change. Let's get that done. I now have capabilities of writing and recording music on the computer that I use every day. Let's use that. let's start making all of that instrumental music that I say I'm going to be making for the purposes of streaming, so that I don't have to worry about copyright. Let's do that. You know, now that I'm actually going to have, funnily enough, how do guitars work? Never been able to draw a guitar. Such awkward shapes. The weird spiky Telecaster. Are you having fun over there? What was I going to say? I suppose I could play some of that for the outro. A new song, why not? Yeah, I tried the other day actually having, you know, stopping work at a specific time, and whether I was finished or not, you know, the work stops. And it was weird. It was weird not having anything that I was still doing, and I had to find things to do, and that's what I'm. And there was always stuff to do. I've always got far too much to do, but the point is that I had to stop doing what I was doing. And yeah, my hope is that by doing that, I can go, okay, yeah, there's that stuff that I want to finish because it's good and I want people to hear it. Needs more cowbell. I do like a bit of cowbell. Suppose as a pose. I mean, have you ever... Don't know what chord this is, but... It's fine, don't worry about it. Rock! 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 We stand a self-care pass. That's the whole point of this. These are different things. They are not equal. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this pose, but you get the idea. Also, my strap's broken, apparently. It's fine, don't worry about it. Am I growing a ponytail back there? Not since 5 years ago. No, 5? Almost 6 now. Yeah, Kira, when did you come in? Because you might not have seen everything. There's a new comic. I can't believe I've already achieved my goal of mastering anatomy. Let me get music. Oh no, hang on, that's copyright. Cuphead's always good fun. Well, shush. It's dark. Hello. I came in on the streams part. Oh, I see. So yes, there's I'm dividing everything up into work and leisure. Strictly dividing. Proper work hours, proper ending work hours. And I'm focusing not only on applying the things I already know, but I'm actually going to focus on getting better at things. And so on and so forth. So Outliers is the one that you all know. I'm going to be working on that as my sort of last thing of the week, if I can. And I'm going to be streaming that as well. Hey. I'm also going to have a regular comic, hopefully, based around a character I've had for ages called October, and a silly sort of premise involving monsters and office work. I'm going to do commissions. This is my resume, if you want to. $700 an hour. Going to focus on commissions and freelance work, as well as actually learning stuff. Environment design, colour theory, anatomy. They're my 3 focuses. And also some daily doodles if I can. Streams, smirts, and music are my application of leisure. They're things I already know how to do, but I just want to do them and make stuff. And I want to make streams, and I want to make fun times for people, and I want to make music, because it's a good time. So what is leisure growth? That's a question. Let's see if I can draw. Start with the nose. This is slightly smaller. Managed to get almost everyone in here, yeah! Well, Plamps can't come in here because this is all about my plans for next year, and Plamps is already there. With a teeny tiny smile. Alas, it will be almost exact opposite of this. With my scraggly hair, as we have ascertained. So it's kind of obvious in a sense how I will grow with work, or I attempt to grow with work. You know, I have tasks that I wish to achieve, and I wish to achieve them with more knowledge and with more concerted effort. How do you grow with leisure? And the simple answer is there are so many things I want to do. But the one thing I have ascertained is that it's very difficult to do something if you don't actually consume the thing you're doing, if that makes sense. So being more of a consumer, and I mean that in terms of creative work. So reading more, watching more films and interesting shows, and reading comics, and all these sorts of things. Just actually experiencing more stuff that people have made, rather than just making my stuff in a bubble. Not for consumption. Ghibli, yeah, stuff like that. Just like really cool creative things that I haven't experienced myself. That I need to, because I don't do enough of it. I spend far too much time just focusing on making my own things without ever actually comparing it to anything else, which is not a good way of anyone who's ever drawn anything. You know, draw with reference. The same is true of music and, you know, writing and all these things. It's good to have sort of reference, and this is all part of leisure time, you know. So it's not like, you know, I have to buy these comic books because they're for work, and I must. No, I'm going to buy the ones I want to buy. You know, expand my sphere, exactly. And there's no point making stuff if you're not going to know what it is you're making alongside and learn from that. So yeah, I want to consume. I want to be a better consumer, and I mean that purely in terms of work, rather than, you know. Not a huge fan of the word consumer, as if to replace the word customer. But, something Jim Sterling recently made a video about, which is weird. There's Neil Gaiman said, if you want to learn how to write, then you have to read. Read everything you can get your hands on, then you will learn what works for you and what doesn't. Exactly. And that was the first time I encountered it, actually. Was I had a long period where I didn't write anything and I didn't read anything. I was just, you know, playing games and watching YouTube and all these sorts of things. And I went back to writing, and it was, oh my god, it was so hard. It was so bad. It's like, okay, I'll just keep at it. I'm just out of practice. And I kept going, and it's like, no, it didn't get any better. I need to read as well as write. I need to see comics as well as make them. I need to understand narrative and such from good films and good TV without just pretending I know. I'm going to enter a pie eating contest. Yeah. I mean, depends on the pie. You can get some good pies. The UK competitive eating circuit. Yeah, I'm going for the time trial. So like the longest amount of time between eating a thing. You want to get back into writing, but oof, years out of practice. Yeah, I know that feeling. Which is also one thing I wanted to say, all the things I'm leaving off this list, because if there's one thing I've learnt this year, I don't have time. Podcasts, they're not on there. I have 3 ideas for podcasts. Haven't got time for that. Writing, trying to write the Savage letters again. The ideas I have for that would tie into the podcast, actually. Turn those into a podcast. That's out the window. What else? The actual sort of portrait work. White coats, that's also going to be shelved again. Because, again, like Outliers is going to take long enough. I'm not going to be able to do the same thing, but with other characters. Pie Till You Die. It took me a while to read that. Yeah, the stories in your head, but words are like what? I know that feeling. And it didn't help that when I started writing, I was reading a lot of old writing. So like Arthur Conan Doyle, Lovecraft, that kind of thing. Poe. So the way I was writing was sort of echoing that, and I was focusing a bit too much on flowery prose rather than, what actually is good to write and read. Yes. So I'm leaving off a lot of things from this because I know I can't do everything. And I'm just going to give myself, rather than saying, these are the things I'm going to do this year, like I did. Now that people are here, let me get that tweet back up. Because I feel like it's entertaining. This was a tweet I made 9 minutes ago last year. So a year and 9 minutes ago. About all the things I wanted to do in 2019. None of which got done, but I said I'd be happy with 3 out of 4. And the interesting thing is that I've done a lot of stuff this year. As I said, I've made 138, was it? Secret Sleepover Society comics? Almost finished Foggate. Almost made 2 books worth of stuff. Set up a small business that is not making a loss. And made a fantastic group of friends who are very creative and positive and a wonderful company for the first time in like 10 years. So that joke was already made at the beginning of the stream by Miss Crow. Well done. Oh, does it say 30th? Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. A year a day and 9 minutes ago. Shush. Good eye, though. So, yeah. So I got none of those things done. 2 of them have been shelved indefinitely. 2 of them have been carried on to this year. But yeah, it's important to know that at the start, don't apologise. That's what the sorry jar's for. The sorry jar was not meant to be abused for when people apologise legitimately. It was meant to be used, not abused, when people apologise unnecessarily. There is no reason. Oh yeah, Miss did destroy the sorry jar. That is the thing that happened. What else am I doing in terms of growth and leisure? Consumption's the obvious one, but the even more obvious one is just learning. There's lots of things I want to learn, and I don't have time to do all of them. Don't have time to learn a new language, probably. I don't have time to learn plush making or electronic music production or any of these things. So what do I want to learn? I want to learn some things that are sort of adjacent to work, but are nonetheless separate. So I like the idea of learning watercolour. That's something that I've always wanted to sort of get into. Because I don't do any traditional art, you see. I don't know how to draw watercolour. How would I symbolise watercolour? There. make a watercolor drawing. I mean, go back to the nice sort of tree designs. There's an artist I follow who's absolutely beautiful watercolor work. Who is it? It's on Instagram. I think I've already shouted them out before. They do some wonderful stuff. I don't know. Ooh, I have a new follower on Instagram. Yay. And then or I can see something like this. Oh, Exo Comics. Wonderful world. Who am I looking for? Ah, here we are. Iraville. Iris Leutemann van Langeweide. My apologies for the mispronunciation. Yes, look up their stuff. There's absolutely wonderful things. Just like very, very cool. Very big fan. Link that account. I will. I can't do that in chat because of different computers, but I can do it in Discord. Boom. Oh, that was the post, but you get the idea. Oh, the Bird Mermaid is Exo Comics, as I recommend following their stuff as well. Can't you just look at my followers on Instagram? I don't follow many people, so just go through all of them. They're all good. Yeah, so watercolors, that's something I'd like to learn. I have bought a very simple kids set of watercolors, which is probably a bad idea, but here we are. I'll start with something maybe a little better than that. This is what watercolors look like, right? That's how they look like when I did them. But like just learning about how, just learning a kind of more relaxing, like not for the purposes of showing the rest of the world, you know, it's just like, I want to do this, it's for me. What was a blending layer that was good for highlights? It depends what you mean good for highlights. The one that is best at giving you the highest amount of contrast for highlights is hard light. Overlay is a good compromise, but is quite extreme in the mid-ranges for the colours underneath. Dark colours can't be made very bright, bright colours can't be made very dark. And soft light is an in-between of the two. You don't get much movement either way, but you also don't get any extreme. So, or do you want to paint more like actual paint? Yes, just kind of like a physical thing, and I probably won't share any of it, just... Screen is the opposite of multiply. I don't really use screen an awful lot, but I haven't tried since I discovered that it's the opposite of multiply, so I probably should. So yeah, watercolor. That lovely brown. What else? Programming. I want to learn more about programming, and I will essentially, like, what is the probability that this career is actually going to take off? I don't know. Almost certainly not 100%, but I'm certainly going to put in the work to make it as high as I can. So I'd like to have some sort of backup, would be nice. And I like maths and programming and all these sorts of things, and there are lots of... Okay, here's the thing with programming. Screen was one you were thinking of. Oh, okay, sorry. So yeah, there are lots of things I wanted to program, and then every now and then... Again, this sort of comes back to my weird reaction to things I don't know. And how it probably shouldn't be the way it is. I want to sort of look up a little bit. Concentrating. I keep wanting to do certain things in programming and then looking up a tutorial, not understanding the first sentence of the tutorial and going, never mind. And what I should be doing is going, right, how do I work out what that first sentence means? How do I learn that terminology? How do I get the tutorial for this tutorial? I'm just, you know, I'm not from a computer science background, I'm from a mathematical background. And that is severely limiting when it comes to this sort of thing. Need to up my smooches. It's not a smooch, it's just a concentration. I will understand you. One day I will understand you properly. So yeah, it's just like, how do you react to things you don't know? Do you react to it by saying, I don't have time for this? Or do you react to it by saying, I want to understand this, and I want to spend more time thinking I want to understand this? I want to understand what API is and how it works, and how to have programs communicate with one another, and how to have information from various websites interact with one another, and all these sorts of things. I want to understand these things, and I feel like just sort of putting the problem off until later is never gonna help. So I want a Skillshare subscription for all this leisure growth stuff. No, there's plenty of information out there to teach yourself, and I'm pretty good at teaching myself things. I'm very fortunate that I can, and there are some people who learn far better with an explicit instructor. But a lot of the time I prefer to... if you can't give me a fully abstract way of representing your information, which is the mathematical way of doing it, then a solid example that I am invested in will be enough to get me to learn things. So I need to work that out. So like Discord bot. Ours is a bit weird, and I want to see if I can make my own, and I also see if I can make like little games that we can play in Discord via a Discord bot, and just things like that, you know. That's something to do. Getting API from Mixer so that I can actually do interactions with my bot better. And get, you know, the GIF GIFs that you post up on screen, because it turns out that the library I use doesn't do that. Your bank account cries at the name, oh dear. Your plants can help you understand things. I would like... So there's part of me that wants to do more like game stuff, and I haven't included that on this because games are very time consuming. But there is part of me that wants to maybe like do games with other people. Because most of my problem with making games is that not exactly that the enthusiasm goes out after a while, but it just becomes like I know everything that's going to come up from now, and it's like, is there any point in carrying on? I don't know. Don't get that close to the screen. Yes, it's bad for your eyes. But anyway, yes, I want to learn more about programming. And the actual background of it. I've recently subscribed to a YouTube channel that I have been watching on and off for a while called Computer File. And I've learned nothing about programming, but a lot about computers. Is this the Cuphead soundtrack? It is indeed, yes. The Hollow Knight soundtrack finished, and we're now on the Cuphead soundtrack. It's bad for your lips, yes. So yeah, these are the sort of the things I wish to do for my leisure, if you're so inclined. Yeah, that's basically it. Like I say, I've left off a lot of things that I'd like to do, but I do not have time. Podcasts, games, all sorts of things I want to learn, all sorts of music I want to make, all sorts of comics I want to make, white coats, another Foggate, you know, all these sorts of things. But eat good food. I'm fine with I like the food I like. I would like to go on holiday this year. That would be nice. Just like a kind of weekend in... I hear York's nice. I might want to go to York. You know something you want to do in 2020? Ooh, do tell. Oh, collab with Crispum. That sounds... I'm pretty sure you can get an ointment for that. I'm happy to do a collab. Like I say, the main reason I didn't do anything this year was because I was so bad at juggling. Basically, it was a feedback loop. It was... I wasn't focusing during the time that I put aside for work, and as a consequence, I felt like I had to make up for it by working at times that weren't work hours, which then meant that I didn't have the energy or focus to work during work hours, which meant I felt guilty and had to work outside, so on and so forth. Cycle of despair. And that's why I haven't done a lot of just random drawings. I haven't done any 3D modeling for bloody ages. You know, that sort of thing. And like, I would love to do collaborations with you guys. I just haven't actually been able to get the time because my work-life balance has been so crap. I'm working on changing that, and I'm working on making it so that these are work hours, these are not work hours. If you haven't finished anything tough, just move on. You know, complete separation, do it properly. You're very smart and talented people. Hope you have fun doing these things. I hope you have fun doing all the things that you're doing as well, including streaming the good Star Wars. Everybody watch Lewis's Star Wars thing. Good. You want to finish Starfinder first act, do more model stuff, and actually finish a game you haven't before. 2020 goals. Yeah, games like... Funnily enough, I've got a lot of games that I keep saying, oh, I should get round to those. But then there's like... And I do want to do that, but there's also part of me that's like, the more I can get out of one game, the less money I have to spend. Although Ragdoll, being the extremely kind person that they are, did recently give me a game, so I feel I should definitely play that. So yeah. But yes, you're doing... the one thing I did mention with when I was drawing Beardo McBeard friend was how thought out your characters are, Dark, in your games, and sort of appreciating just how much effort you put into the back end of the Starfinder and such. So yeah, Ragdoll's very sweet and very kind. Yes. Dungeons 3, marvelous. I got a weird horror game because yay. I like weird horror. Another Divinity game. I was about to say I haven't heard of one other than the one I've heard of, but the one I've heard of is Divinity 2, so there must be at least one more. Yeah. I didn't really have anything else sort of... I mean, I didn't have any of this planned, obviously. Look at it, it's a mess. But I had the lines planned, that's about it. I can show you some stuff from... Hang on, let me move away for a second. We're not finishing yet, don't worry. I just want to make sure I don't show you things I don't want to show you just yet. There's just a couple of bits and bobs I can show. Yeah, there we are. So this was like an early draft that I had in for the October and Company thing. 2 weeks away from getting a Switch, very exciting. Oh, cool. We've got Yakuza 0. I hear that's very good. I read that very differently, Chibi, and I was very confused. Yeah, so we've got there's Jekyll and Hyde on the right as the two managers. Or the one manager. And yeah, on the left you got a mummy character. I like the character of the mummy, but it's like... She's late for spookins! Yeah. I like her, but I have trouble with like... But she's not a joke. You know what I mean? I like her, but she's not a joke. You know, like the Jekyll and Hyde thing, that works as a manager, because it's kind of like, oh, it's a joke on, you know, temperamental managers or whatever. But it's like, no, she's just sort of like a nice sort of mummy who's always worried and fussing about things, and, oh, it's not ready yet, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so there's a couple of little designs. So this is what I'm talking about, was like a much more simplistic visual style, rather than Foggate, or Secret Sleepover Society, or Outliers, or anything like that. Constantly about to unravel. Boom! Yes! Excellent. Love it. She's Sheska from FMA. I do not understand that reference. Maybe after next year I will. Who knows? So there's a couple. Are there any more? Let's have a look at some more. There were some more sketchy ones. Oh look, here's the. October, and the Patchwork Ghost who doesn't have a name at the moment, but I like the idea of the Patchwork Ghost. So yeah, I'm working on bits and bobs. I've got lots of designs. I suppose I can show. I'll just go really quickly. Up. Trifnix. I already have 3 comics for this character written, so that's good value. The ghost gives you Mimikyu vibes. I'm not quite sure what to do with the ghost just yet, but we'll find out. I don't want to have too many characters just be kind of like shy and nice. Like that's my temptation. We're shy and nice. So yeah, Phoenix. I want to show you that, but I don't want to show you the things around it. Hang on, give me a sec. Because one of these is these are a couple of more esoteric designs, let's say. But this is the maintenance department, who I quite like. It's a brain in a jar and a robot body and an animated ragdoll. And yeah, the ragdoll I've had for ages. That's Claudio. That's another character I've had for a while. Is reincarnated into a body that's made of fluff but has severe anger management issues. I like that combination. And then there's the sort of the lackadaisical brain in a jar, sort of. What? FLCL 6 episodes? What? Who? But anyway, yeah, I've got loads and loads of character ideas, loads of comic ideas. I hope people like it, and it's, yeah. So, that's the thing. FLCL's an anime. Oh. Future... No. Claudio's a name that brings back memories, is it? Oh, I think I like the name because I like Coed and Cambria, but this is probably the only sort of place it comes from. Yeah, I'll be getting more caffeine. That's fine. I'm not doing anything. What else can I show you? Can I show you anything fun? I found this the other day. The first Outliers comic I want to work on is based on. Do you remember the stream we did of Sir, You Are Being Hunted? Do you remember that game? It's bloody ages ago. I did have a crack at the costumes, and I found this the other day. This was in May. I drew this in May, as trying to get an idea of the kind of costumes for the characters. I'm probably going to completely redesign these, but I thought, nice show. With the trombone, yes, the trombone will make an appearance. Guess who will have it? That's the one pronounced Fooly Cooly. Yeah, I do want to costume design. That's another thing I want to kind of focus on next year. That'll be quite fun. I need to get Weird's opinion on all of these things. I mean, a lot of you are good with fashion, but you know, Weird. Hopefully she's all right. Under the weather. Stoic. All of Stoic's clothing is monochrome, and nobody's quite sure whether they were monochrome before he put them on or not. Or they, sorry. Weird and Miss Fashion Goddesses. But the fun thing is, like, originally it was kind of like they did sort of stick out a bit because they were monochrome, but when you do the shading with a color, they still look monochrome, but they fit in better. It's interesting. What else can I show? Sort of fun things for next year. I'll play a song. All of the songs are unfinished, by the way, so there's bits that are missing, but I'll play that on the outro. Yellow or Malachi's a little odd. I'm trying to find colours that sort of suit him, because he's like, his taste in fashion is so weird and so different from mine. And whenever I come up with an outfit that probably suits him, I don't like it, so I don't want to draw it. So it's like, it's really hard. So I was trying to find sort of colour combinations that don't look quite so garish, and the yellow like kind of step in a direction that I don't necessarily like, but that could work with pinks and stuff. I don't know. Um. That's fair enough. I don't know. I was just sort of trying stuff out, and this was 7 months ago, so it's in desperate need of updating. What else? Lesions? What? You need weird Miss and Oobs to give everyone costume design clothing there. I want Oobs to give me sketching lessons. Oobs is fantastic at sketching and just getting the feeling of like a character down, and poses and all that sort of stuff. Amazing. As you can see, I'm I am not that person. What was I gonna look up? Apparently here's the thing. So a couple of days ago, I put out my favourite things that I made every month this year, and apparently I have one from 2017. One of them. There's a lot of 3D modelling in here, but I remember that drawing. I do like that one. Calvin and Hobbes sort of thing. But yeah, my drawing's come a decent way, I think, in the last couple of years. It's how long I've been thinking about white coats. This character has completely changed. There's a firework. Thank you very much. There's a lot of characters from a lot of things. Oh look, hang on. It's October. See, October's been around for bloody ages. I remember that. That's fun. Oh, that's in your style. Outliers in the Hollow Knight style. Yeah, so that was that year. And do I have 2018 as well? Again, feel free to share things that you've done this year as well. Like I want this to be like a fun collaborative sort of stream. Daily Doodles. That'd be last year, wouldn't it? Yeah. Aha. Cool. So this was the year before. I did a few pictures of outliers and stuff, and I also started doing the drawfee things. It was the first drawfee fan art I did. I'd made my thesis, PhD thesis. I didn't draw anything that month. Yeah, just a bunch of comics. Lots of comics that year. Even more this year, but I didn't include any. Well, I included some of the Foggate ones, because nice backgrounds. I found something else that I did at the beginning of the year that I'd forgotten about. What was it? Oh, I did it. Only lasted 6 days, but like a fantasy prompt thing, daily drawing, and I remember this. This picture of the wardrobe goblin, I believe, was the prompt. I've forgotten I did that. The most I drew the outliers this year. You met you guys this year and started streaming? Yeah! Most of what you've done this year has been what you guys have seen me do. Yeah, but it's nice to think back on it. Like, I can't remember all the things I've done, let alone what all you guys have done. Does the cabinet have eyes? It's the wardrobe goblin. And the many wardrobe goblins. I remember really liking that picture. Oh, also plants. Boom! Pineapple witch. Oh yeah, there was another, yeah, I forgot about that. In February, if you remember. This is probably the last time I drew October. The design's changed a little since then. There's Claudio as well, down there. Started the year with lots of Final Fantasy fan art. There was a lot of that, which is very cool. Oh, I also did 2 draw-throughs. That's something else I did this year. Or we did, rather. Yeah, so let's say I'm... How about that one? I've only got a low definition version of it. I keep the fan art, you know. It's Chibi's! It's Chibi's Turks fan art. You're weird as a pile of mucus. Yeah. That's cute. Um. Who else did good stuff? I've got all of Mrs. Forrester Doom covers, which are very good. You got out of a really bad depression? Yeah. Did a yoga challenge for the first time. Met you guys. Had the chance to draw a small goblin every week for 16 weeks. Did Inktober for the first time. Wonderful. Parsnip one. Oh, I forgot about Parsnip one. Yeah, did a lot of that. Also like this drawing. It's one of Weird's drawings of motivated Jesse. But I'm glad you could had nice steps forward in personal growth, miss. That's very, very nice. Here's to even more, and yeah, very proud. You coloured the malachite. You did. I don't think that is my thing. You did this. Eh. The snack. This is a good snack. You have that ready, but not malachite. Look, I tend to save them for the purposes of like using them in streams and things like that, and the malachite one was just a cool gift. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, there's this one from Emily. I don't think that was explicitly fan art, but it was cool. Kept it anyway, because it was during the Final Fantasy thing. Yes. Also that one, I quite like that one. It's another weird one. You made it through, yeah! You also made a cool little PAL thing. It was very good. Oh, do you know what else I made? You know what else I made? I think I need to share this. I made this. That's the thing I made. It was something a streamer I follow said. It was what happened? What do you think happens if you push Goofy's snout in? Does it just sort of fold up? And I thought I'd animate it. Why not? It made me laugh. You got your main characters' designs for the comic you're working on done? Yeah, marvelous. So yeah, that was a thing I did. I got a lot of traction on Twitter. Twitter's a weird place. No, this bloody thing. I found out one of the things I found out was on Tabletop Simulator you can make your own jigsaw. This is a bugger for a jigsaw. I like how we keep going back to this. Did I do any good CG this year? That's a question. They're probably all randoms, right? Why are they organised by date? Oh, actually that probably helped. I did the Zote during the stream. First RPG, first time to cry over an RPG. Dark made Chibi cry this year. Scallybobs. Scallybobs. It's a shame I'll never do their Beyond the Fog Gate. Oh, the Mimic was this year. That was good. I like that. It's even more appropriate now. We are questionable of Amazon's business tactics. Somebody recently retweeted the body horror Goofy you drew a while ago. Marvelous. GB made you cry this year during the musical art stream. Yes, yes, that was very touching. I'd like to think you added some shooty coverage to the group stream. Your streams are cool. Moved into an apartment that isn't a jail cell. It's a very nice apartment, yeah. Yeah, do you remember your little speech at the end of the thing? Yeah. Yeah, 1789. 1789. Getting over my fear of voice chatting. I've still got to do that. Let's do a draw pile. Or whatever. Need to do more things in Discord now that I actually have free time. Because last time we did one, draw pile, which was in April. Last time I did a draw pile with you guys. I was far too nervous to actually say anything. Even though I'd been streaming for you for 5 months or whatever. I was like, suddenly there are other voices here. I streamed with Try. That's something I did this year. Joint streams, fun times with Try. Jackbox, that's the one I was trying to think of, yeah. We're all nerds. That doesn't matter. You're people I was not familiar with speaking to, and that's enough for me to weird out. Which of that is here? I didn't finish it. We got killed by Chris online for the world. Yes. Yeah. I discovered that in cooperative games I am a source of chaos. That's fun. Didn't expect it. Try to be the voice of reason. Yeah, who'd have thought it? And we had a wonderful time with the final boss. Got introduced to Cutter Lass, yeah. Now we can do tabletop games. Ooh! Cutter La! We had Reginald Danger the Third. You are the Order. The Order. What else? Is there anything else that's sort of lying around? Oh yeah, I forgot about that prisoner. Yeah. I made a bit of a game that didn't get finished. But that is another maybe project that I'd like to do next year. Is I made games, point and click puzzle games, because I used to play hundreds of those. And I made a bunch based on just photographs and messing around with them. And they were black and red, black and orange, and black and yellow. And I'd like to make a black and green. That would be nice. They usually take about a week, so I might take a week off. You learn to ship things to the UK from UK seller. Marvelous. Yes, we did the we played Dishonored 2. We played XCOM. Only took a few weeks. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Started a lot of in-jokes. There are many in-jokes. Speaking of in-jokes, boom. Get some in-jokes up, why not? Yes. Were there 2 deaths? Oh yeah, there were 2 deaths, yeah. Forgot about Danny. Lots of musical talk. Many musical talks, yes. Shake it all about jokes? Is anyone gonna write that, maybe? Yeah, Danny and Arthur, yeah. There we go. There we go. We started the book club, which went so well. We started, deleted, and resurrected the book club, which I would like to get into at some point. But I do want to read more. That's another part of consumption. Just everybody remind ourselves of this drawing that I did. I want to bring the book club back next year. Yes. Yeah, actual good books this time. I've got the Divine Comedy that I'm trying to work my way through. You can do votes and all sorts. Hey, rock. Yeah, there's a bit of a weird sort of appropriate to the year itself. It kind of just fizzled out at the end of the stream, didn't it? Just turned it into chatting, which I'm fine with. Next year I die of consumption. Hopefully not. What was that? That was the plague, wasn't it, or something? I can't remember what consumption was. Unless, of course, what you mean is diabetes. The cancer? Oh, okay. Tuberculosis? TB? Oh, okay. Death by chomp. Yes, it would be death by being consumed. That was the Douglas Adams quote, wasn't it? It's rather unpleasantly like being drunk. What's wrong with being drunk? Ask a glass of water. Thank you for a year of wonderful streams, because without you guys, this would be approximately 1/10 of a fifth of a quarter of 0.1% as fun as it was. Do you know I had to look up what that word meant? Try recently, and I'm not pleased. What was the fact? I missed the fact. Oh well. Which one was it? I need to make more. I need to make more so I go into rotation. Oh, you using all the health kit. Oh yeah. You got shot a lot. All right. It's not necessarily your fault. Necessarily. Probably. Anyway. Thank you everyone for coming along. It's the end of the year. I hope it was tolerable at the very minimum. And if not, I sincerely hope that the next year is far better. That it exceeds all expectations, that you can make decent progress towards the things that you want to do. There's no real reason anything has to change tomorrow. And there's no real reason anything doesn't have to change, if that makes sense. You can start whenever you like, but I look forward to seeing you all grow and get to the places you want to get to. You almost missed the end. You're back. You have coffee. The year was better thanks to you guys. I concur. Thank you, you guys. You made the year very good, and I'm extraordinarily looking forward to the next at least year with you guys. Yeah. You started the Discord. That is true. We have Try's, Impetus, and Plamps' technical know-how to thank for the Discord existing in the first place. Which is a big, big part of this group. And for that, we should all be appreciative and thankful. But at the same time, don't just do what Try says. Because that way madness lies. Yeah. Rock slide. Cover up, Try. No. This is weird music for this sort of thing. Here's a question. I want to play a song that isn't finished yet, from the music that I haven't finished making yet, to end the stream. Which one should I do? Play song. Okay, this one, there's no vocals for the middle 8, but it's the title song. It's Thunk is the name of the album. It's going to be the name of the song. Why not do that? Who knows? Yeah, so there's no middle 8 at the moment. The mixing's all over the place, etc, etc. The singing's bad and out of tune. Don't worry about it. But you'll get the idea. Thank you for all the rocks and the crying turtle. Thank you for everyone for coming along for the past year. I wish you the best and more, if at all possible. Then again, it wouldn't be the best, would it? grammar and optimism don't go well together. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy yourselves.